Welcome to the Deficient Vegans podcast. I'm the Muscle Deficient Vegan here with the Protein Deficient Vegan. Do you want to say hi?
Hi.
Hi, everybody. So this is episode 30, and this week we're going to talk about holiday gifts with some recommendations for gifts that may make your life a little easier as a vegan. So we're going to approach this from giving gifts, getting gifts, asking for gifts, avoiding non-vegan gifts, and maybe treating yourself to some gifts.
Treat yourself.
Treat yourself. A little bit of everything. But first up, new news.
New news.
So the first thing here is that there is a new vegan cottage cheese from Treeline Cheesemakers. This is not the first vegan cottage cheese, but I think it is the only one on the market right now.
Yeah, I think a couple of years ago I saw that Miyoko's had a cottage cheese made out of watermelon seeds or something, but I never saw it actually come to fruition on the market.
That's interesting. This one has good reviews. It's only available on their website, and the price is kind of crazy. It's like 5 times more than dairy cottage cheese. I think it was $6 for 6 ounces.
What do the macros look like?
It's 10% protein, 5 grams for 200 calories.
So not cheap, not good protein.
Yeah, but it is vegan cottage cheese.
I mean, I always thought cottage cheese was nasty anyway, and honestly, even the name is gross. And I don't know why, because I like cottages and I like cheese. But together, it sounds disgusting.
I did see some of the reviews said that it tastes and feels to them exactly like what they remember of cottage cheese.
I've seen a lot of people asking for cottage cheese recipes on Reddit.
We'll see. Hopefully it gets way cheaper one day.
I could see this one ending up in Whole Foods because I think Whole Foods already sells a couple of the Treeline products.
Oh, yeah. That seems likely, yeah. Cool. Next up, Natalie Portman joined Uncaged Innovations as a strategic advisor.
Our Queen Amidala, you say?
Yeah. So Uncaged Innovations makes like an alternative leather that is based on proteins from plant byproducts instead of plastics like a lot of the fake alternative leathers are. They use their product in the interior now of some cars like Hyundai, Jaguar, Land Rover, things like that. But Natalie Portman is joining to help them bring it into the fashion industry. So maybe they can use less leather there.
She's the coolest, isn't she?
She seems pretty cool. The old school vegan.
Yeah. And she's so smart. She seems so nice. I've always liked her.
A company out of Barcelona called Lasinor introduced a new textured pea protein that can be used as an egg replacer in baked goods.
This is interesting.
Yeah. They said from their end, food manufacturers are looking for egg alternatives right now based on the supply and pricing issues with eggs.
I believe that. People have been bitching about egg prices for, I think, pretty much a couple years at this point.
Yeah, I don't buy eggs, obviously, but I've heard a lot of complaining about eggs.
I just hope if they're using a vegan egg substitute, they'll also use vegan butter and a vegan milk so that vegans can actually eat their products.
So it's not like the Impossible Patty cheeseburgers with real cheese and mayonnaise?
Yeah. Or the fucking Morningstar products.
Oh, yeah. Still on that kick.
I'm never going to be off the kick of shitting on Morningstar. Do you hear that, Morningstar? I know you don't. We're small.
All right, so that's the news. Now let's get into the topic. When you first go vegan, especially, a couple of the episodes we've done here around like you just turned vegan or you're trying to go vegan, a lot of these things that happen during that transition period.
Or your kid's going vegan.
Or your kid's going vegan. That's another really good one. In the beginning, there are a lot of things that come up. This time of year, around the holidays, gifting is one of those things that comes up.
In the beginning, there's confusion.
Yeah, lots of confusion on everybody's part. Your part as the new vegan, the people who are trying to deal with you as the new vegan, a lot of confusion in general. So for gifting specifically, you'll probably have some more awkward conversations like in every other aspect of this thing when you're trying to do this around friends and family. But they might be conversations not only about what you can and can't eat, which we've talked about a little bit before, but also what you can and can't use, like non-food products, like household products.
Or wear.
Yeah, or the types of clothes you can wear. They could be things like kitchen equipment, gym equipment, food-based gifts. Not necessarily food, but a lot of people give food as gifts during the holidays.
Homemade gifts.
Homemade gifts. And we've got some other categories we're going to go through here. So for the conversation you might have with people in the first year about what they can and can't get you, you might want to frame it as, instead of vegans don't do this and vegans don't do that, where they might tend to get a little defensive, you can just simplify that and say, those are things that I don't use anymore.
Yeah. And this might extend past the first year of you being vegan, especially if you have new people entering your life, like in-laws, new friends, new bosses, new coworkers.
Yeah.
So you might have to have this conversation many times throughout your vegan life.
Yeah, you probably will. Also, it helps mentally for yourself. I noticed one thing. I stopped drinking soda a long time ago, and I learned a trick then, I guess. But inside your own head, you don't say, I can't have that. You just say, I don't drink soda.
Yeah.
And you say that to yourself enough times and it really clicks in there. At least it did for me. I've used that for a couple of things since then. It seemed to help.
Yeah. And I think if you say don't instead of can't, then you get less questions too.
Yeah, definitely.
So this section's around if you're shopping for a vegan, or maybe if you're a vegan trying to give people tips on what to avoid if they're shopping for you. We're going to cover a lot of different categories.
Yeah. So first we can talk about food. This is probably one of the more common things you are used to dealing with as a vegan or a new vegan already. But there are a couple of little things here and there, especially in terms of food as a gift.
Yeah. And I think most of your friends and family that you already interact with probably know a lot of these, but it's good to review, and there are probably a couple that you don't know about.
Yeah, for sure. So the first things are things with dairy, eggs, and butter, the most commonly known things that vegans can't have. So there are a lot of food products this could be in, but around the holidays, one that tends to come into play a lot is family traditions. Maybe your family sends some kind of cookie for the holidays.
Yeah, my aunt always sent cookies called Cheryl's cookies. They're like sugar cookies, and because she lived far away, so she would just order a Cheryl's cookies, and it was like a yearly thing. And so then I started doing it for my grandma after my aunt passed away, just because I thought it was a sweet thing that reminded her of her aunt. Anyway, but when we went vegan, I found out they actually have some vegan ones. So still kept the tradition alive, but something to look out for if there's one that your family is sending.
Yeah.
It might not be vegan, and you might want to mention that.
Yeah, and sometimes they will just think, oh, we always do the cookies. Cookies are vegan, right? And they don't even think to look and see if they have dairy and stuff in them. So
I think there's a lot of confusion around vegetarian versus vegan, and I mean, especially if it's not your close family and friends, they really might be out of the loop. Think grandparents or uncles and aunts, coworkers.
Yeah. You might also have some bakers or confectioners in the family. Like my sister makes these candied nuts every year. Originally, they had some non-vegan ingredients, but since I went vegan, she's found a way to make them vegan, which is super cool.
And they're delicious.
Yeah. I love getting 8,000 calories of nuts to eat in 2 days.
Oh, 8,000. I think it is far more than 8,000. She gives us a gallon Ziploc bag.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So that's something you might want to mention. If you have any friends and family members or coworkers that tend to do this kind of thing, you might want to mention it to them. Not necessarily to lay down the law, but I mean, there's nothing worse than getting a gift you're not going to be able to eat, and then it's this awkward conversation of do I mention that I can't eat this and not take it, or do I take it and then throw it away when I get home? It's just very uncomfortable.
Yeah, the problem with option number 2, where you take it and throw it away, is you're going to get it every year.
Oh, yeah. You're going to have the conversation at some point, or you're just going to be getting non-vegan baked goods for the rest of your life.
Yeah, definitely. Something else would be candy. Maybe you'd pick up at the store for stocking stuffer or something like that.
Yeah, this might be especially interesting if you are a parent to a newly vegan child.
Yeah. A lot of the candy you buy in the store is typically not vegan. If you go down the candy aisle, there are only a handful of things, really.
It is slim pickings for sure.
Yeah. Some of the brands, though, do have vegan options. We have plant-based Reese's. Lindt makes chocolate truffles that are vegan out of oat milk.
Oh, those are my freaking favorite. Those are so good. If you haven't tried those, you should try those.
They make 2 different ones. They make a regular oat milk and a dark chocolate oat milk, I think. And then there's also Hershey's has a plant-based chocolate bar, just like their normal chocolate bar.
Those ones are pretty good. We've tried all these. These are all pretty good. I would say the Reese's are less good than the original, but
for sure.
They're still an option.
Yeah.
And a good option.
And then there are some more vegan-focused brands in general, like Unreal, and then I think there's Trupo Treats.
Yeah. Yep, and we tried those, and they all have really solid options. There's more than this, and you can find some brand roundups on Veg News. Usually has some pretty good articles on here are all the vegan cookies you can buy online, and here are all the vegan chocolates you can buy online. So check those out.
All right. Also, something that tends to sneak its way into a lot of things that people don't think about, and even when I go to look for things, I'll have to look real close to be is it in there? It's honey, right? So honey is in a lot of things you maybe wouldn't expect it to be in. Yeah,
it's in things you might buy, but people also cook with this, and I think this is one of the more nuanced ingredients that I think a lot of non-vegans really have trouble grasping, that we don't eat honey. So you can't make a stuff with honey, especially candy nuts. If that's one that you're getting, you might want to mention that.
Yeah. And this one is even more problematic because there are some vegans, I think, who decide they want to eat honey, and they just make it a little more murky for everybody.
Yeah. The same ones that are I eat my neighbor's chicken's eggs. They're vegan. And then we all have to explain to everyone we know why that's not really vegan. And it's just really fun. Stop saying those things. Yeah. Stop saying it's vegan. Just call yourself a vegetarian and move on with your life.
No, that's right. Another one, gelatin. This is pretty well known among vegans, but almost not known at all among non-vegans.
I didn't even really understand this as a vegetarian.
Yeah.
This is like not explained well at all. And it's always hiding in candies and stuff that you're eating from like a child, right?
Yeah.
So children don't know that this is hiding in their ingredients.
Yeah, pretty much anything that's like jelly or gummy or like stretchy as a candy probably has gelatin in it.
And what is gelatin?
Gelatin is like ground up hooves or something ridiculous.
Yes, it's really nasty. And I think if most people knew this was in their foods, I kind of feel like you wouldn't eat this. But anyway, we don't eat this. So if you're looking for treats and stuff to buy vegans, or if you're just mentioning what to not buy vegans to your friends and family, you might mention gelatin.
Yeah. And then the last one here is shellac, which is commonly incorporated into confectioner sugar.
Mm-hmm.
One of the candies that's known for that is lemon heads. So lemon heads are not vegan because they have shellac.
Which is like some crushed up bug secretion, or I don't know.
Insect secretion.
Why you put that in candy in the first place, I don't understand.
You made an interesting point. Like if you were eating a lemon head and you found a piece of a bug, you'd be pretty disgusted. But like the whole thing is just made up of crushed
You'd write a
bugs.
letter to the CEO of the brand and be like, what is wrong with your company? But yeah, crush it up and throw it on the top so it's shiny and I'll eat the hell out of it. It's just bizarre.
Yeah, so a lot of candies that are shiny might be shiny because of shellac. So just something to keep an eye on. And that's one that I had only learned about until recently, but I didn't really eat much stuff with shellac in it anyway. So that's all for food. Let's talk about clothing a little bit. Some of the obvious ones here: no leather, no fur, no wool.
Yep. There's no suede.
Also, not only for real clothing items, but you'll want to avoid those things in patches, like leather patches.
Like
leather
on
wallets.
jeans or something.
Yeah. Belts.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Wallets, purses.
For shoes specifically, some shoes that aren't really made out of leather will use leather support elements in like their uppers. I know there's a few sports shoes that do that you have to kind of keep an eye for. And the one bad thing about shoes is a lot of the manufacturers, even the big ones, aren't great about listing every material they use. They'll say the shoe is rubber and canvas or whatever, but then not mention that they use leather in the upper piece. You kind of have to email them and do a whole conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also non-vegan glues that can be used for shoes. So.
Yeah. There are a lot of good lists, though, if you Google vegan shoe options, and they're actually entirely vegan shoe companies that you can look through.
Yeah. And there are a couple of the big brands that have a section for their vegan shoes. And then another one, you want to make sure to avoid any down jackets, feathers. Right?
Yeah, especially if you are in a colder climate. A lot of the really like insulating, warm, like outerwear, sometimes it has down feathers in it, and you might not know that, so that's something worth checking. They do make really solid vegan ones if you search for that.
Yeah. Next up would be homemade gifts. So you might think arts and crafts. Many of these are made with materials that might not be vegan, like alpaca, wool. There are some yarns made out of those things.
I knit, so I tend to stick with yarns that are vegan, like acrylic, cotton, or bamboo, but it's important to look on the label and just make sure you're choosing ones that don't have, wool or alpaca or...
You could run into leather here, too. Sometimes leather's incorporated into homemade goods.
That's true, yeah.
If you're making something advanced, you might even have, like, bone and stuff in there. If you're making knives and stuff.
Wow, who are you hanging out with?
No, like it depends on what kind of homemade crafts you're talking about.
The only ones I've ever received are, like, wood burnings, paintings, and needlepoint things, and
man, some people are knitters. Some people are knitters, and some people are home blacksmiths.
That's fair. That's fair. I guess I don't know. I don't have anyone with that's doing Thor things in their basement.
If they do, they probably use bone and leather.
That's true. Yeah. So watch out for that.
And next is like home goods type things. The first thing that comes to mind is candles with beeswax.
Yeah. Yeah, try to find like soy wax candles are a good option that's usually vegan, but sometimes they'll have a blend, so just kind of keep an eye on the ingredients for those.
Yeah. And you also have throw pillows and comforters and other kind of cozy accessories for your house.
Yeah, don't know why you would want to throw in feathers of an animal into these, but that happens.
Yeah. Sometimes wool too. I think I've seen like wool blankets.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Typical things to try to avoid.
Look for those materials and avoid them.
Yep. And then for personal care, so there's a lot of stuff going on here in like cosmetics with a bunch of weird and crazy ingredients. Hair care, soaps. If you just look at those things, they'll usually have a cruelty-free type label if they're safe.
Yeah, so there's two labels to look out for. There's a cruelty-free, which means that they don't test on animals. And there's also a vegan label, which would mean that they don't use animal products. Why those are not synonymous, I don't know.
Yeah, it's cruelty-free to not test on one animal, but, use animals in your product line forevermore somehow.
Yeah, but that's not cruelty. That's fine, I guess. It's very confusing, but check for both. A lot of stores, if they have online web pages, they have some kind of a filter that you can filter by cruelty-free and vegan. That's an option. I would check there. And if you're in doubt and you're buying for someone else, maybe kind of ask them.
Yeah.
Also, another really solid resource is there's a subreddit called Vegan Beauty, and I see a lot of people asking questions in there if stuff is vegan.
Nice. Yeah, if you're buying for a vegan specifically, they probably already have a brand that they like and know has vegan products.
That's true.
Definitely worth asking. Next up is sporting goods. So a lot of sporting goods stuff uses leather as far as like gloves and balls and things like that. Belts sometimes use leather as well. A lot
Shoes.
of things with straps, shoes, stuff
bags.
like that. Yeah, bags. So, yeah, I would just try to avoid anything that uses non-vegan materials, mainly leather. Sometimes you run into other things. And then some lesser-known things, musical instruments. So we just recently found out guitar strings are made out of guts.
Guts?
Or what did you say?
Yeah, I think it was some form of animal guts, guitar strings. Yeah, but they make vegan ones. But I guess a lot of instruments use some animal-based materials, so...
I know they call playing piano tickling the ivories. I don't know if those are ever actual ivory or not.
I bet they probably were at some point until they killed enough elephants that we cared enough to stop that.
Yeah, so things like guitars, drums, stuff like that, just make sure it's not using something weird.
Yeah, and most of them are going to have vegan alternatives, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on, especially if you're spending like a couple $100s for an instrument. You want to make sure it is vegan if you're buying it for a vegan, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. Also, some little things like notebooks and journals, and also just books to a lesser degree.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they're like leather bound, involve some leather in there. And then bags, backpacks, purses, handbags, a lot of the times those will have some leather in them.
Yeah, like laptop pouches, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Briefcase, something like
that.
I don't know. Do people use briefcases anymore? I don't feel like I've seen a briefcase. What?
Merces?
Oh, I've
Man
seen
purses?
Yeah, those are really popular now, so don't buy a leather merce.
Don't buy a leather merce.
Yeah, but I'd recommend maybe don't buy a merce at all. But if a merce makes you
man,
happy...
where are you going to carry your shit?
In your wallet.
What if you have bigger stuff than fits in your pants?
Throw it away.
No. I declare that merces are fine.
I do get a little jealous when I see somebody wearing a merce, but I don't have enough stuff for a merce.
You know what I get jealous is when I see man pants with actual fucking pockets, and I have one that only fits a chapstick.
Yeah, we really got to get on that pocket.
Yes.
The pocket conspiracy.
I think what we should declare is that man purses are fine and that women deserve pockets. And both can be true, and we should work on that.
We'll start a petition. There's a store called Vegan America that will show you different categories of products that they've already vetted to be vegan. So if you're just trying to shop for a vegan and you don't want to think about all these things we brought up and made very complicated, then you can just go to Vegan America and search for things. Yeah,
I actually just recently found out about this when I was like perusing the Vegan Squad social media. But the guy that created Vegan America is in there, and so I was like, oh, what is Vegan America? So I went and looked on their site, and they have a bunch of different categories. They have like food categories, and they got like candies and chocolates and cheeses and cosmetics and skincare, clothing. It's crazy. It's a lot of stuff, and a lot of it's from like smaller companies too, which is cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Yeah, so that's the stuff that you can either avoid when you're buying for a vegan, or if somebody wants gift ideas for you, just give them this big list of things that they can avoid when they're trying to buy.
I bet they will love that.
We'll have to write this one up into a blog post so we have like a referenceable list.
Yeah, we'll give you guys a reference document to share with friends and family. Shopping is so much more fun when you have like a list of 50 things to look out for. If you're a vegan or you are wanting to buy things for a vegan, we can also recommend some things that might make their life or your life a little easier rather than the things to avoid. Now, some of these are kitchen items. So, make sure you're having a conversation with the person before you buy them kitchen stuff. Yeah. If it's somebody who doesn't cook or doesn't really enjoy being in the kitchen, just ignore the entire kitchen section. Yeah. It's kind of like, don't buy your wife a vacuum cleaner and call it a Christmas gift. That's the advice I'm giving. But if baking or cooking is like a hobby and it's something that's fun, some of these might apply.
Yeah. Seems like solid advice.
Yeah.
This is also our personal wish list idea items if we didn't already have them, because we do have a lot of things here because we are vegans and they make our lives easier. So. And some of them are pretty cheap, little dinky things, and a couple of them are a little more expensive, but the more expensive ones are high quality and expected to last for a long time. So.
Yeah. We're definitely not suggesting that anyone should be spending $500 on anyone's Christmas gifts.
Yeah. So yeah, for the kitchen specifically, some things to help with vegan cooking. One is a food processor.
Yeah, I think a food processor can be really handy, especially, I think, for vegans, because I don't know if this is just a me thing, but a lot of my cooking is just blending or grinding shit up into some kind of paste or sauce. So a food processor is great if you want to make your own, like, vegan ricotta, or if you want to make hummus.
Related to a food processor is also a good blender.
I think my Vitamix is my most favorite thing I've ever owned.
Vitamix was one of those things for like years and years. I was like, wow, they have some crazy hype marketing. Like, is this like a multi-level marketing scheme? What is going on? I own a blender. Why am I hearing about Vitamix? So anyway, eventually we did buy a Vitamix because we were having trouble blending some things.
Cashew specifically.
Cashew.
Into a mac and cheese sauce.
Right. And yeah, it's totally worth it. So
it was like, okay, so when I was making the mac and cheese sauce with a normal blender, there was like this grittiness. I could never get it to go away. It was like, it was not super noticeable, but like it kind of got to me. Like it took the illusion of this is cheese away. Yeah. Like I was like, this could never be a cheese sauce because cheese sauce isn't gritty, I guess is what, for me, you know? And it was like, no matter how much I soaked them, the grittiness wouldn't go away. But then as soon as we threw it in the Vitamix, there was like no grittiness at all. And it tricked my brain.
Yeah.
And I was like, where have you been all my life?
Also, they're well made. They have a good warranty. Expect it to last for a long time. You can run it through the dishwasher. You don't really have to worry about it breaking. You've been abusing ours for a couple of years now, and it's not slowed down at all.
I use it almost every day. It is chugging along.
Also, a steaming basket. Specifically, this is useful for seitan, but it's also good for steaming vegetables and things like that. Yeah. And they're real cheap.
They are real cheap. You can buy a couple different ones. I really like my bamboo ones that sit on top of my pot.
Yeah.
I have like one of those only pan pots, which are kind of pricey, but they came with steamer baskets. And I didn't know what the hell they were at first. And they just like sat in the pantry for 4 years until I decided to use them. And I was like, wow, this is what they were this whole time. That's so crazy. I didn't know what this was. But they also have those collapsible ones that like you can use for any size pot. And those are really handy, like the metal ones that kind of collapse on themselves.
Those are the ones I've used in the past.
Yeah. They also have silicone ones that sit on the bottom of a pot, but you need to make sure you have a lot of water in your pot because I somehow melted silicone.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because I ran out of water and it got very hot. So I wouldn't recommend those.
Yeah, no. We don't want that.
Also, just don't be a moron and run out of water like I did.
Also, good knife options. Always good for anybody in the kitchen, although people can be kind of particular about knives. So yeah, maybe coordinate with them on this one a little bit if you plan on buying knives. But if you're buying it for yourself, you know, good, you'll need good knives.
Yeah, or if you're like giving people gift ideas.
Yeah.
And I mean, a sharp knife is actually a safer knife than a dull knife.
Definitely. So, fun fact, I used to sell knives.
I knew this about you. Tell us more.
So, there's a knife company, Cutco Knives or whatever, and it was like in my first...
He went door to door.
It wasn't really door to door.
He went door to door.
It's actually explicitly not door to door.
Oh, okay.
Cutco only does referrals. So, you have to start with friends and family, and you kind of get referrals from there. But anyway.
Did you go to their doors?
Well, yeah, no, you do.
Oh, okay. He's not door to door, but he is.
After you get the referral, you do go to the house and you do a whole presentation and you like slice things in half. It's like a whole thing.
What did you slice?
Let's see. What did I slice? Oh, we had.
Did you slice tomatoes? Because those are such a bitch.
No, it's not food.
What?
It's been so long. We sliced. You slice a piece of paper in half. You slice a rope. You slice a piece of leather in half. I think.
Who's using a knife for this? You should be slicing vegetables.
You're just showing how sharp the knife is. And all this stuff you can keep in your little bag with you.
Okay. I don't know. I wouldn't buy a knife from you if you didn't show me how it worked on vegetables.
This is not an advertisement for Cutco. I don't even know if they still exist, to be honest with you. But I did use this on knives.
This is just a journey into his past.
Yeah, I did that for like 2 or 3 months. It was fun, and I stopped. Just a summer job, first year home from college. So
I don't even think we have any fancy knives. We just like Honestly, I pick them by the handle. If it's a pretty handle, I buy it.
Yeah, we have colorful knives.
Yeah, I like rainbow handles.
You like that burnt titanium look? Looks
Yeah,
kind of like a rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're the best, so I'm not even going to give you product names because they're probably not very good. I just like them. But you deserve good knives, and you should get some.
Also, you want good pans, pots, baking sheets, things like that.
Yeah.
You don't really need good ones. A pan, probably a little higher quality, but a baking sheet, I mean, you're going to put like parchment paper on that thing anyway. You just get an old piece of sheet metal, scrap metal out in the yard. I don't know.
He doesn't cook, guys. Don't ever listen to him. No, I think good pans are important. You know, like some good nonstick.
Next up, a wooden cutting board.
Yeah, I've gone back and forth on this, okay? So, like, I had a lot of plastic cutting boards, and then, I don't know, I think I saw a TikTok video that was like, see all these dents and divots in your plastic cutting board? Guess what that is? That's a bunch of plastic that's in your food. And I was like, holy shit, mine's really fucked up. I must have a lot of plastic in my food. So then I tried glass cutting boards, and I hated those a lot. I kind of felt like I was going to cut myself, and I didn't. I did cut myself a couple times. But there's just not like any grip, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm fully on board with the wooden cutting board. Yep. And I love wooden cutting boards.
All right. So this is vegan specific to a certain extent because a lot of people who are using meat kind of shy away from the wooden cutting board because bacteria and stuff can get in them. But if you're just making vegan food, that's not really a concern. So I would go all in on wooden cutting boards. I
have a couple, and I have one that I only use for cutting garlic and onion.
Yeah, the stinky board.
I wrote stinky board on your side of it in Sharpie. So because it smells and there's like no way to get the smell. If you know how to get the smell of garlic off of a wooden cutting board, let me know.
Also an air fryer, or you could just use a copper crisping tray.
Okay, we have both. Yeah. But I love my copper crisping tray. My grandma actually got me one, I don't know, like 5 or 10 years ago for Christmas. Because she had one, and I always thought it was really cool because she'd make French fries and stuff on it. That thing's great.
Yeah. So we pull out the air fryer maybe like twice a year, and we use the copper crisping trays 3 times a week. So
yeah. It's awesome. You cook it at a lower temperature than you do the air fryer. You just cook it at like a normal oven temperature, which means it's going to take a little bit longer to cook.
Those just go in the oven. They go in the normal
oven. They go in the oven. Basically, it's made of copper, as the name implies, but it has like a bunch of holes in it.
Yeah.
But that gives it the opportunity to have a bunch of airflow. So everything gets nice and crisp all around the food. And they're really cheap.
Yeah.
Especially compared to an air fryer.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
I don't know. If you're choosing between the two, my personal favorite is a crisping tray.
Yeah. Next up, an immersion blender. So this is like a handheld blender. You kind of jam into things and it mixes inside it. I'm very good in the kitchen.
I know. He is a savant. This one's good if you're making like a lot of soups. But I will also use this if I am just like blending silken tofu to use in baking or something, or I just need blended silken tofu for something and I don't want to get out a big blender.
Yeah.
It goes through it.
Also, you use it a lot for garlic sauce, right?
Yeah. You can make like a garlic emulsion, or you can make your own pasta sauce with tomatoes and stuff.
Yeah.
It's good for sauces and soups.
Yep.
We don't really eat soups because I have a weird soup aversion, but I see people talking about it. It sounds great.
I have heard of soup.
I've heard the people talk about soup, and they do use an immersion blender.
I love soup, but I just eat it out of the can. So
sorry, your life is so hard.
Another one. Now, this one is pretty pricey. It's a Dutch oven, which is a big metal pot. And you're like, why is this $500? I have no idea.
But it's so heavy.
Yeah.
Okay. So it is expensive, especially if you're buying La Creuset. I don't know if I'm saying that's right. This is how I say it. I don't know. I'm from the Midwest. But, like, I personally would not buy this for myself or expect anyone to get this for me.
Yeah.
I actually used work safety points or something to buy one for myself, and it's awesome. And it's in the shape of a pumpkin, and it's my favorite thing ever. But you can actually buy some pretty cheap options on Amazon or, like, off-brand ones, and we have one, and they seem to be pretty similar quality, though we've only had it for, like, 2 years, and I don't use my Dutch oven, like, a ton.
What do you usually make in it?
I mostly make breads, but, I mean, from what I can tell after 2 years and minimal-ish use, they seem pretty much the same. I don't know. I think if you're not going to be using it, like, weekly, why not buy a cheaper one?
Yeah, for sure. Especially to just make sure you're going to use it at all.
Yeah.
To try to make sure it's like you want to make bread or
My
whatever.
bread turned out the same in the cheap one versus the super expensive one.
That's what's important.
So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not as pretty as my pumpkin one, but it makes good bread.
Yeah. Next is a vegetable grater, or you can use something called a slap chop, which is like you stick the vegetables into the blades and you push on
Slap
a
chop!
bunch. Yeah.
It's a new ShamWow. No, yeah, this helps with meal prep a lot. If you are into meal prep, a slappy choppy thing might be really helpful for you for like dicing your vegetables or,
Yeah.
Oh, in the similar vein, we just got this garlic grater thing because we went to the Christmas market where all magical things are. And there was this guy selling homemade garlic graters.
That's what they call them.
Yeah. So they're like this really rough surface. It's pottery.
It's like a small ceramic saucer dish, and it's got a bunch of spikes in the middle of it, and you kind of grate the garlic on top of it.
So you'd have to cut it, which is great.
Yeah.
And if I would have known this, maybe I wouldn't have a sneaky wooden cutting board. But that's an option too.
You can also get a couple of things to maybe like grow some food at home, really low key in the kitchen, or like a mushroom grow kit, so you can grow some mushrooms to use for food.
These are kind of fun. I think this could be a really good gift for a kid too, that's maybe interested in science or just like, I don't know, some kids like cooking. It's fun to watch it grow from like, it's one day it is just nothing, and then the next day it's like starting to grow shit out of it. And then it just keeps growing really fast.
Plus, if I give a kid a mushroom grow kit, that kid might say, wow, he's a really fun guy.
His dad jokes are usually a lot worse than that, so I was impressed.
All right. You can also get an arrow garden. It's like a little herb grower that sits on the countertop. It's all self-contained. You just put water in it. It's got its own light. The light kind of you raise the light up as the herb grows. You put dill in there. You've got 4 feet of dill 2 days later.
Oh my God. Yeah. A caveat on this. We have one of these, and you really need to know what are you going to do with all these herbs before you start growing it, because it can get out of control pretty fast.
Yeah. Not having enough dill will not be your problem.
Nope. No, it will not. Your problem's going to be, I don't know how the fuck to dry all these herbs. How do you dry herbs? I can't possibly use these herbs. I'm not cooking for an army.
Next thing you know, you're hanging up a clothesline in the other room, and you're hanging herbs across the house, and you feel crazy.
And you are crazy because it doesn't work. And I don't even know, none of those worked. I don't know how you dry herbs.
Well, we didn't really look up.
We were like...
I'm sure there's a way to do it that works. I've heard of dried herbs.
I've heard tell.
So anyway, you can grow some herbs for sure.
Yeah, and then if you grow a bunch of herbs and then you dry them properly, you could use a spice grinder, which is the next thing on our list.
Yeah. Get a spice grinder, you can grind up herbs.
Or spices.
Another kind of big purchase, but interesting use case, kind of unique, is a Ninja Creamy.
Yeah, this is kind of the in-between for vegan and like gym goers.
Yeah, because it is technically used to make ice cream, right? But the gym goers have kind of co-opted this to make protein ice cream.
Yeah, and it does that well.
Yeah.
Or you can make like smoothie bowls, which is usually what we use ours for. But this one's good too because depending on where you live, you might really not have good vegan ice cream options. Some stores don't really carry very many flavors. So having your own ice cream machine, you can make some really solid vegan flavors.
Yeah.
Even if they're not high protein.
Yep. And this is related to a Ninja Creamy, but you can also get a home milk making machine.
See, men have to buy homemade milk making machines and women just are.
Yeah. Well, we can't use yours in protein shakes. So. But yeah, so the one brand I know of off the top of my head is Almond Cow. So it's not like an endorsement or anything. It's just the most common brand, I think. But basically.
Or Nutter.
Nutter? Oh, yeah, Nutter.
Nutter, which, I don't know. That's a choice name.
That is a name. It's a name of a product. But basically, you can use soybeans, almonds. I think they'll even make oat milk. You just put stuff in there, it grinds it up and makes your own milk.
I think the soy, if you're specifically doing soy milk, I think you kind of need to really research that, though, because it's a little bit different to make than oat and a couple of the other ones.
And then the last one for kitchen equipment is the tried and true stand mixer.
I love mine. It's like an aqua blue. It's so pretty.
Yeah. KitchenAid makes a lot of colors for their stand mixer.
They do. They know their audience.
And they also have really high quality stuff. Again, a little more pricey, but that's because it's super high quality. People hand down KitchenAid mixers for generations.
Yeah, we have 2 because you had one and then I have one. I've had mine for like over 10 years.
I think I've had mine for about that long too.
Yeah, it's awesome. Especially if you're baking or making doughs. This is probably a good one to have.
Yeah. You can also just use a hand mixer.
Yeah. We're not saying you should get a stand mixer, but if you're looking for ways to up your kitchen game, it's a good one.
You can also just stir things with a spoon. But
you can.
This is stuff
get
to make
really
your life a little
strong
easier.
forearms.
There you go. So that's all on the kitchen front. We'll talk a little bit now about gym equipment or gym accessories you might get. A couple of these are vegan focused. A couple of these are maybe just if you're just starting in the gym. If you have a person who goes to the gym that you're trying to buy gifts for, some ideas here. One thing you might use in the gym are lifting straps. So this is more for the really committed lifters who are doing deadlifts and stuff like that. Typically, they'll have straps on their hands that hold the bar, and they won't have to use their grip as much, so they can lift more than their grip will allow. But one that is vegan is Versa grips. And not only are they vegan, they also happen to be the best straps for a lot of use cases.
Yeah, I wouldn't call myself a dedicated lifter, but I am someone with very small hands. So if the bar is, not tiny, I do have trouble like holding onto it, and the Versa grips are really helpful for that.
Yeah, it also helps for stuff like rows, lat pull downs, anything where you're working on your back's probably stronger than your grip.
Yeah. And you really shouldn't let your grip strength dictate how much you can lift.
Also, lifting belts. A lot of people use belts for the power lifts, like deadlift, squat, and things like that. A lot of the traditional belts are leather, but there are definitely non-leather options.
Yeah, maybe Natalie Portman will come up with a good lifting belt with her pleather options.
Oh, yeah. That's actually...
Was it called pleather if it's not plastic? Probably not, right?
So, no.
Vegan leather.
Yeah, they were just calling it vegan leather, I think. So. Also, headphones. A lot of people who use headphones in the gym. The only thing to really look out here for on the vegan aspect is there are some headphone brands that use the leather top strap, leather ear cups. You want to make sure you don't do that. Most of those that I've seen, at least, you can swap those out with the foam option when you order them.
I'm a Skull Candy girl, and they always have a vegan option.
Yeah.
At least the ones I've bought.
Also, this one's a little more pricey again, but you can get an Oculus or a Nintendo Switch. So the Oculus is like the VR headset, but that's because both of those have fitness games on them. So you can kind of work out while you're doing the Switch or the Oculus and have some cardio while you're playing a video game. So,
yeah.
Pretty cool.
I think this is a fun option.
Yeah, for sure. I know. You play Beat Saber. The Wii has a lot of sports games. There's like a kickboxing game.
There's a kickboxing game. It's so much fun.
A lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, I think these are fun too because you don't really have to have any equipment. And you don't need much space. You just need like a small area to stand in and, throw punches in the air. Although, be careful, like people walking behind you. Because one time my brother, when he was, I think in high school, he was at his friend's house and he was playing Wii tennis. And his friend's mom was walking behind him when he went to go do like a backhanded tennis swing. And he hit her in the face and she fell over and like got a black eye. And I think he still feels pretty bad to this day about that.
Man, that's awful.
Yeah.
Plus, if you're a kid listening to this for some reason, I don't know, but you can say, hey, Mom,
this is super kid friendly.
Yeah. I need a Nintendo Switch or a VR headset because I need to exercise. Don't you want me to exercise?
Yeah. Don't you want me to live forever and be really healthy?
So anyway, I need this and a bunch of Pokemon video games. And maybe that, fitness video game or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, the Pokemon video game, you have to throw the ball to catch the Pokemon. It's fitness.
I know. Fitness Pokemon in this ball.
Wow, he's full of them today.
So also shoes. A lot of the lifting specific shoes will have leather for extra support, extra durability. But actually some of the big brands do or did have vegan options. It's kind of weird because there are a couple of the big brands that will alternate. Some of the generations will be totally vegan. And then for a year, they'll use a leather piece in it. And then they'll go back to being totally vegan. So you really need to make sure you're getting the right generation of the right shoe or just get a shoe that's always vegan. There are a couple of those out there.
Yeah, or just go with Chuck Taylor's.
Yeah, the Chuck Taylor's always vegan, always good for lifting. For squats, you might want something different, but I squatted in Chucks for a long time.
What do you think about Crocs?
I like Crocs. Probably wouldn't lift in Crocs.
They are vegan though.
Crocs are good though. You might get Crocs for a gym goer because I think Crocs are the best shoe to switch into right after you get out of the gym.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
I could see that.
A lot of people do like the slides after a workout or after they play a sport or something. Crocs really slide into that spot well. Next, there's a Theragun, which is kind of like a
flesh pounder.
It's a massage.
Not
gun.
for your nether regions. That'll beat your shit up.
It's a massage gun. It basically just has a knob on it that, pulses on one part of your body. God damn it. What are you talking about, though?
It's a massage gun.
It's a massage gun. You can use it on sore muscles or somewhere that needs a little more flexibility, things like that. It's supposed to be helpful for recovery.
Yeah.
It will help reduce soreness. Anything beyond that, you got to be careful with. Definitely don't want to do it on a bruise. If it's like an actually hurt muscle, don't Theragun it.
Oh my God. Okay, so don't do it for like 10 minutes in the same spot just because, no, I've done this because I'm like, oh, this really hurts. And then like it gets to a point where you're like, oh, that actually it feels better now. And
For
then
today.
Yeah, and then tomorrow you wake up and you're like, oh, I can't really move my shoulders.
Yeah.
So don't do that.
Learn from her. Don't do that.
They also have cheaper options. Like,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, the Theragun is like the brand name option, but they make cheaper.
Yeah, the Theragun, I think, is the original. I don't know if I'd recommend Theragun specifically, but it's so common now. There are a lot of like knockoffs and cheaper ones that probably work just as fine.
Or just like any massage thing. Like some people like foot massagers or, those vibration plates. I don't know if there's any actual science behind it. You see a lot of people using them.
Yeah.
I think they're fun to use because they make your voice go, ah, and they make me happy.
Yeah.
When I stand on that thing for 5 minutes, I'm like the happiest person ever. I don't know why.
Yeah, there's also the thing at Planet Fitness where it's like you stand on the vibration plate, you're inside the red light chamber, so you're doing a lot of stuff that nobody knows if it works, but it makes you feel great.
It makes you feel good. I don't know. It's the placebo effect, I guess, maybe.
Yeah. Hey, if it makes you feel good, it's working, right?
I like to sing when I'm on the vibration plate.
Yes, you do.
It's like so much fun. I don't know.
It's like when you were a kid and you like talk through a fan.
Exactly. Yeah. And like laughing. It's the best time. I don't know if it does absolutely anything useful, but it is a lot of fun.
Oh, man. All right. This is really an interesting podcast. Next couple things, adjustable dumbbells and an adjustable bench. Both are really good for the gym, especially a home gym, obviously. The adjustable bench, the only thing you really have to think about is that a couple of the older ones used leather padding. I don't really see that a lot anymore. So I don't think that's an issue anymore, but just make sure you don't end up with one with a leather pad for some reason.
That'd be really sad.
Yeah. You could also get gift cards. Maybe you don't want to directly get equipment for somebody you're buying gifts for, but you just want to get them something where they can go spend a little money on.
Yeah, like a thoughtful gift card.
Right. So you could do that for a spa. So some people like sports massage or they just want to relax and get a spa treatment. I would explain that more, but I've never been in a spa, so I can't.
I've only gotten a massage once, and it was really awkward because I didn't look up what that would entail. And I got there and they were like, get totally naked except for underwear. And I was like, what? That's crazy. And then I felt like an idiot because I'm like, well, duh.
Yeah.
But I didn't know going in because I was stupid.
So you can get somebody a gift card for that experience.
If it seems like something they would like and not cause them extreme anxiety.
I would probably not do this unless somebody had mentioned they go to the spa or they like the spa. Like, yeah. But it is an option. Also, you can get gift cards to like GNC or some other supplement store. I don't particularly prefer GNC. That's just the one everybody knows, so I said it.
Vitamin Shop.
Yeah, but I actually do like Vitamin Shop.
I like Vitamin Shop,
I tend to
too.
use them more than anything. But yeah, some supplement store, and even if you're shopping for yourself, a lot of times in the holidays, they'll have really good deals on gift cards. So you buy a gift card, it's a little late for Black Friday now, but in the holiday season when stuff's still on sale, and then you can use it later in the year when you need it. So those are always good because if you're going to the gym, you're probably buying some kind of supplement. So that'll definitely get used, even if it's just protein powder. Another one is a nice water bottle. This doesn't have to be expensive, but something nicer is a little more durable. You drop it around the gym, you kick it around, drop the barbell on it.
Make sure the person you're buying this for doesn't already have 10 water bottles.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I think the trending one right now is a Walla. But before that, it was...
And those are metal.
I don't know what. It seems like every 2 years there's a new fancy water bottle that's like the favorite.
Yeah.
I really liked, for a while, they had one called Hydrate that worked really well, that had like a Bluetooth thing to track your water intake, which is what I used for like, I don't know, almost 10 years. And then like it just stopped working well.
When the Hydrate worked, it was by far my favorite water bottle. But over the last 2 years, the quality, I don't know what's going on with their software or something. It just stopped being reliable.
Yeah.
So yeah, if they ever fix that, maybe back to Hydrate.
Yeah, now we're back to boring water bottles that don't connect to my phone, but whatever. A good water bottle's handy.
Yeah.
And it saves plastic bottles.
Yeah, definitely. Also a gym bag, always helpful for anybody who goes to the gym. I like to keep in like some special cable attachments, some like little fractional plates, other little things I like to use at the gym that my gym doesn't have.
Your shoes.
Shoes, definitely.
Yeah. I like to use my little gloves.
Yeah. So yeah, gym bag's always good. Don't get one with leather straps, anything like that. And then the last one is pulley attachments, so like cable machine attachments. There are some leather ones, but those aren't very common anymore either. Most of them are like a canvas material these days, or they're just metal bars, right? So both of those are already vegan. But sometimes the old tricep straps and stuff were leather, but they just don't do that a lot anymore.
Which is great.
And then some random fun things that aren't necessarily in any other category. One is a subscription to Veg News, especially if you know a new vegan or you are a new vegan. This is a good way to keep up with new products, new developments, just news about veganism. They're a really cool publication.
I had a friend that was, I don't know, she was eating a lot of tofu and kind of like looking for recipes, so I sent her a subscription. She wasn't a vegan, but I thought, yeah, it might have some good recipes that she might want to try. And it's pretty cheap, because it only comes out quarterly.
And you can do digital only. You don't have to get it mailed to you. It's even cheaper.
True. Another good one is if you have local vegan restaurants, getting your friend or family member a gift card to a local vegan restaurant is a really good option. So like we have Alice and Friends, which is like an Asian restaurant in Chicago that's all vegan. And every, I think Black Friday, they basically do a really, really solid sale on like, you can buy this $100 gift card for like cheaper than $100. If you can find something like that in your local area, that's a really good option, and it helps keep vegan businesses alive.
Yeah, that's cool. You can also do like a subscription to a vegan cheese box or some other like vegan food. There's a couple of them now that do subscriptions.
Yeah, we did Rebel cheese for a while, and it was fun. You didn't know what you were getting every month.
Also, you can do a vegan snack box or a vegan beauty box subscription.
Yeah, those are kind of fun because you get like, it's not always full-size versions, but it gives you an opportunity to try like 10 or 12 different snacks or like a couple different beauty products every month that you might not have heard of otherwise.
Yeah, I think we got a couple of brands in the Vegan Cuts box that we ended up getting on a regular basis on our own once we discovered them in the box. So it's kind of cool. If you're trying to shop for a vegan that's like, I don't want anything for Christmas, you can donate maybe to an animal sanctuary or something like that in their name, or like the Humane League, also like them. So
I actually really love this option. I wish I could get people to do this for me when they ask what I want, but they just want to get real things.
Yeah. People like giving gifts,
I know. It makes sense.
But for the right person, I think this could be a really nice gift.
Oh, I think it'd be so cool.
And then you can just get like fun vegan shirts and stickers because you never really have enough of those.
Oh, yeah. There's lots of fun and hilarious vegan paraphernalia you can get.
So another sticky, awkward conversation you might run into is if you are a vegan and a non-vegan asks you for a specific gift that is not vegan.
Yeah. This, I think, happens pretty often.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on what kind of family you're from. Some families are like, I'm not giving you any ideas.
Right.
You know what I like.
Because then you're free to choose whatever.
Yeah, you can get anything. But like my family likes to, they have ideas of what they want, like specific ideas. And then I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but my dad asked for something that had leather. And then I had to be like, I don't buy leather. Can I have another option, please?
Somebody else in the family picks it up. You don't have to buy the leather. You get him something else he wants. But depending on the family, it could be an awkward conversation.
Yeah.
Especially if there's somebody out there that had somebody who was hostile towards veganism in their family. I
can
can imagine that being a huge
uncomfortable.
conflict. Yeah.
But I do think if they're asking for something specific and they think you're getting that specific thing, you should probably have that conversation instead of getting them something they didn't ask for without having the conversation. I mean, plus, if they keep asking for that stuff and that's something you don't want to do, it's probably going to keep coming up until you have a conversation. I do see this conversation happening a lot in Reddit. I know where I personally land, like I don't buy that kind of stuff. But I do see a lot of people in Reddit saying that, they don't buy that stuff for themselves, but they'll buy it for a family member if like they're getting gifts or something.
Yeah, I think the line of thinking there is that person is going to get that thing one way or the other. Mm-hmm. So you're not really causing any additional harm. But I think it's a lot more clean cut, at least for us, if we're just like, we don't buy that.
Yeah. But like, everyone's kind of different, so.
Yep, for sure.
So what do you want for Christmas this year?
Oh, what else for Christmas? Like a pony, my 2 front teeth. What are all the other things?
A hippopotamus.
Hippopotamus?
A hippopotamus for Christmas. You want a hippopotamus for Christmas.
Is that a song, or are you making that up right now?
No, this is a real song.
I've never heard that.
Only a hippopotamus will do.
Why?
I have no idea.
Oh. Well, it sounds like fun. I mean, it doesn't sound like fun. Those things are really evil.
They're vicious.
Yeah, vicious.
They run like, 30 miles an hour or some crazy shit.
The kid in the song doesn't know what they're getting themselves into. What do I want for Christmas? I don't know. I play Magic the Gathering, so it's always cool to get like binders and Magic the Gathering cards. Other than that, I like nerd, gadgety gizmos and widgets, man, and like gym stuff, obviously. Although I have pretty much all.
You have everything now.
I'll ever need to. But yeah, no, stuff like that. pretty cool. An example of the gem stuff is one time you got me this cool, like 3D printed skull that holds gem chalk and it magnetically sticks to the squat rack. So that is right up my alley. So stuff like that I like a lot. What about you?
Pretty much sparkly Mooncat nail polish and horror books. But at this point, I have, I think, every Stephen King book ever written. So I'm leaning more into like, I'm a witch who lives in a cottage and I have a talking plant books. Cozy fantasy.
Cozy fantasy. Yeah, cool. Hopefully that equips you better for Christmas, whether you're getting gifts for yourself, buying gifts for a vegan you know, or you are a vegan trying to explain to people the intricacies of what you can and cannot receive as a gift. So yeah, now we can talk about our myth of the week this week. And the myth is there's one type of exercise that's better than all the rest for everybody.
One exercise that rules them all.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think intuitively this doesn't make a lot of sense, but there are a lot of people out there who are like, you have to do this exercise to really make progress.
Anytime I see something that's like, this thing is the best, I'm like, what are you selling me personally? Because I feel like it's all trend-based and all like, I don't know, shit to sell me stuff.
Yeah, a lot of them tend to follow trends as like CrossFit, and now High Rocks is kind of like the new CrossFit. I think CrossFit and High Rocks people will be annoyed that I said that, but it's kind of taken the place of CrossFit and the trend. And then there's stuff like HIIT exercises, which aren't a specific exercise, but people will get really hyped up about doing HIIT training for a couple of years. There's things like calisthenics. People get really into calisthenics, and they usually tend to go up and down with some popular influencer or athlete or celebrity or something that really gets into this style of training for a while, and then people just try it out, which is cool. I mean, everybody doing more exercise is awesome. Try it out, do stuff is awesome. But there's not one best kind.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not saying any of these are bad, right? Like,
oh, yeah, for sure.
They're all great forms of exercise. It's just like, if anyone is telling you that one is better than all of the rest, that's when you're like, what's the catch? Yeah. Like, what are you trying to get me to buy?
No,
I think,
definitely.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the best form of exercise is the one that you're going to stick to consistently and that matches your goals. So if you want to be a bodybuilder, you're probably going to focus more on like isolation exercises, weightlifting, things like that. If you want to be world's strongest man, you've got like a really particular exercise where you're flipping tires, lifting up stones, things like that.
If you just want to be healthy and maybe you just like walking, maybe you just walk.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're on Hot Girl Walk TikTok, but that's a thing. Like, girls go on hot girl walks. They go on, like, 2-hour-long walks in their neighborhood and just listen to audiobooks. Yeah. Or there's, like, I saw this one girl, she does, what does she call it? Cozy cardio every morning, where she, like, sets the lights nice and dim in her house, and then she, like, puts on a movie that she wants to watch, and she just, like, walks on the treadmill pretty slow for an hour or whatever.
Yeah, I think everybody should probably do some form of resistance training, but if you're going to lift weights once every 3 weeks, but you're going to walk every day, screw the weights for a while. Just go walk every day. That's great.
Yeah, or if you just want to do Beat Saber and, like, it's something that actually keeps you active and you enjoy it, then, I mean, each their own.
Yeah, definitely. There are some specialty things, like if you wanted to get more flexible, you might do yoga and you might
Pilates.
And you probably have to do something kind of like that to really improve your flexibility.
Yeah.
So there are some contextual things where there's better things for your goals, but again, that's about your goal specifically.
Right. Yeah, I think it's all really dependent on like what do you specifically want, and if you don't have any specific goals and you just want to be healthy, then it's kind of like do whatever makes you happy kind of thing. I don't know.
You're free. Go do a different exercise every day. Do, or just like you said, walk around for a couple of hours every day.
Hot girl walks.
Hot girl walks. Yeah. So the best exercise is the one that you're going to stick to and that is going to get you to the goal you want. There's no really one best thing.
What would you say are the benefits of some of the more common ones?
The benefits of cardio are basically that you're improving like your lung and heart health, things like that. The benefits of resistance training are that you're getting stronger, you're building up muscle mass, which can help you prevent injuries, especially as you get older, help you prevent injuries. But even as you're younger, help you from doing things like rolling your ankle or falling down and breaking something, things like that. Plus just generally moving things around in everyday life.
Yes, being able to change the water jug at work.
In an ideal world, you should probably be doing some form of all these things somehow. But if that's a little too much, a little overwhelming, just stick to the thing that you know you'll do consistently.
Myth debunked.
That's right. All right. Now you've got some recipe updates and work that you've been doing. You're always very hard at work on those things. What have you been doing lately?
Have a new banana baked oats recipe that uses TVP. We've made it a couple times now.
Yeah. It's kind of like little oat bar pancakes.
Yeah, it's really good. I don't even know what to really describe it as. We've been using them as pancakes, kind of.
Yeah. Butter syrup.
Yeah, it's really good. Super easy to make, good for meal prep. I also put out a long-form YouTube video today.
Extra long form this time.
This one, so long. I was working on it last night at midnight, so if it sounds sleepy at the end, that's because I was.
I think it sounds great.
But if you want to hear about every vegan protein source that you could possibly imagine over a 23-minute video, then this is the one for you.
I think it's an excellent video for somebody who's transitioning to being a vegan because it really goes into here are all your different protein options. Here are the pros and cons and the price differences and which ones have more proteins. And you had examples about how you use some of these different protein sources. So I'm lucky enough to have you as a magic kitchen wizard. But if I was somebody who was living alone and just starting this vegan thing, I feel like a video like that would really help lay a great path towards what kind of food should I be buying and how should I be using them in the kitchen, especially if I have a protein goal to hit.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to make it for because I also wish I would have had something like that when I went vegan because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I really only knew about tofu, like extra firm tofu specifically. That was pretty much all I knew. I didn't learn the other ones until like several years into it.
So we'll have a link in the show notes for your new video. And then also if you guys have any questions or feedback, or you want to see anything specific as far as recipes, or maybe even if you want to hear a specific podcast topic, feel free to reach out. We have links in the show notes where you can send us a text message and you can go to the website, social media, things like that. We also have a new Discord channel. We've got
11 people.
Yeah.
It's very exciting. There's still not much action, but we're excited.
Yeah. So we're going to be adding some more resources to the Discord over the next week or two. Try to get some more conversation going on in there.
Yeah. No, we're like awkward people, so it's hard for us to get conversation going. So if you are like an extrovert, you might be just what we need.
We've had a couple people join from different countries and stuff.
Yeah.
So it seems pretty cool so far.
Absolutely. And they're definitely cool people if they're in our Discords.
So that link is in the show notes, or you can just send us a message and say, hey, where's the Discord? And I'd be happy to send you a link directly.
Yeah.
Also, you just released a new holiday recipes ebook for this year that people might use to make some recipes to take to Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever holiday they have coming up at the end of the year.
Winter solstice.
Yeah. So you can get to that on your website.
Saturnalia.
Do you think people have Saturnalia parties?
I freaking hope they do.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm about to have a Saturnalia party.
Yeah. So if you go to proteindeficientvegan.com, click on ebooks, it'll be on the ebook page and you can see the holiday book right there.
Yeah, it's got about 15 recipes. It has apps and sides, mains, and then desserts and snacks. Oh,
speaking of books, you'll also notice on your website there is a countdown to Veganuary. You have a gigantic, massive Veganuary book coming out at the first of the year.
I think this is the best one I've put out.
Yeah.
This is like my third annual Veganuary book, and they're free. So I just like try to create free resources every Veganuary. Hopefully it helps the community.
Yeah, I think it's like 110 pages. If you're already subscribed to the mailing list, you'll get a copy sent to you.
Might even get an early copy.
And if you happen to sign up for the holiday book, you'll be on the list. So then you'll get the Veganuary book. But after the first of the year, you can just go get it directly.
Yeah, we just thought the countdown would be fun.
Yeah.
Because, like, who doesn't like a countdown? I don't know. It looks really fun on the site.
So I think that is it for this week. Do you want to say bye?
Bye.
Bye, everybody.